Yo, what's up, everybody? This is William from 40 Billions back with another video. And today I am going to be discussing RenderATL. I'm going to be doing a review of my overall opinion on RenderATL. And I am going to be kind of going over a few of the things I was able to do. I am going to be coming out with a newsletter article about this, so if you aren't already subscribed to my newsletter, please go ahead and consider subscribing with the link in the description down below. And if you enjoy this type of content, please go ahead and hit the like button. It may be a small click for you, but it means a lot to me and I would really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and get into my review of RenderATL 2024. So this is a very promising year for RenderATL. Not only did they start a sister company, Atlanta Tech Week, they had it last year, but this year was really ramped up with a lot of big businesses, a lot of different sponsors coming into the city. There's going to be a huge investment in the Atlanta infrastructure based off of this conference. And not only is it a conference, but it's also a music festival and a great place for you to be able to go to network with other individuals in tech or in other areas and industries as well. That's what I really enjoy about Render. If I were to highlight anything else, I think that Render's community is top tier. That is the absolute best out of all the conferences I've been able to attend. I've attended conferences like Google Cloud Next, DevNexus, Connect Tech, AWS Summit, a whole bunch of different other ones. And I will tell you that the way that Justin Samuels, the founder of Render, has been able to create such a vibrant community is very commendable. And also he has a great team on his hands, because in order for people, I think it was 4,500 people that was coming into the conference every single day for a 3-day conference. I think that is absolutely fantastic from where he initially started. I think he started in 2021 with only 350 people. So to see that it's had an exponential growth from 350 people just 3 years ago to now, it's really great. I mean, not only did they have America's Mart, several floors in America's Mart, which is a very large event space here in Atlanta, Georgia. It's actually located in downtown Atlanta, right at the cusp of downtown and midtown. So for people who are familiar with the area, you should know where I'm talking about. But not only were they able to rent out America's Mart, they were also able to do something that was completely different, something very innovative. They had a food truck park. So there was a whole bunch of food trucks there, and they also had the ability for you to be able to play basketball and compete with each other. And they had different artists that were singing and rapping and playing the piano and, you know, the violin and a whole bunch of different things that they were doing out there. They were making mashups. So it was a really great community building exercise, or it was a great time to go to the food truck park. One thing I will say though is that they did say that it took them all the way into the week of Render that Tuesday. So the conference for Render started on Wednesday. They didn't get the permits to actually have the food truck park until that Tuesday. So I will say that it is something that was hard for them to be able to do. So great job to the Render team. That I think came together really well. So those are the biggest highlights. I enjoyed the workshops. Absolutely enjoyed the workshops. I attended one workshop for useful AI for business. That was a fantastic workshop. Gant Laborde is the person who ran that workshop. Had a great time there. Gave a pitch. Was going in there trying to understand how to use AI to solve different problems. Made it to where people who aren't technical and just are business owners are able to understand how to go about using AI and different types of AI to solve different problems, and some of the benefits and drawbacks of using AI in your business. So I really enjoyed that workshop. A lot of the different talks was really good. I tried to stay on the entrepreneurial AI type of track when I was going to these speeches and talks and stuff like that. I thought it was really good. What else was really good? The vendors, they gave out different prizes. They were taking pictures that I think was very valuable. I think out of everything, if you go to a conference, get you a headshot and network with people. Network with people who can help you and push you forward. That is the best part of a conference. Having something tangible that you can use for your LinkedIn, such as a headshot or a professional photo. And also something that's intangible but is able to push you forward is somebody's recommendation. So I think that networking with people will help push a lot of people forward. They do interviews on site as well. So they do interviews that will allow for people to get hired on the spot. That's one of the benefits that I saw that Render does offer. And yeah, so one point I did want to make is that I always like to tell people that don't go into a conference expecting a job. Okay, so it's not guaranteed that you'll get a job. Even if you interview and they say they're hiring people on site, some people do get hired. I will say that, but there are a lot of people who don't see that benefit of getting a job from conferences. I do like the fact that they do the on-site interviews. So even if it may not work out, you at least have a connection to a particular company, or maybe if 6 months down the line you keep connecting with them, they may have another opportunity for you. So I think that is a great thing about Render, that they do a little bit differently from other conferences. It's not like every conference has like on-site interviews. So I think that's really good. They're doing a lot of different things. Okay. So those are all the pros of RenderATL. Let me go into just some things that I think that it could do better. This is just constructive criticism. I think that overall I completely enjoyed the conference, but I do want to be fair with this review. And one of the biggest things that I feel like Render could have improved on was having free refreshments for people. Okay, people are there for the whole day, so they open up, I think it was like 8 or 9 in the morning, and they don't end until like 5 p.m. for the actual conference, and then they have a ton of after parties afterwards. One of the things I did not really care for was that there weren't dedicated areas for free water or coffee, especially on the first day. The first day is dedicated towards workshops, and the workshops were fantastic, but there were some people who missed the entirety of the workshop because they were like, oh man, I can't stay awake. It's so early in the morning. I can't stay awake. I really need some like coffee to kind of get me up to speed and make me more alert. So one of the people who were in the workshop, they actually left, and the workshop is packed. Most of the events and speeches were packed, but they ended up leaving from the workshop. They thought, okay, let me go try and find some coffee right quick. Then they go downstairs through America's Mart, and America's Mart had like several different floors. I think that Render had 3 floors out of America's Mart. So they're going through and they're trying to see where the coffee is. There's no coffee anywhere. So they say, okay, well, hey, where can I find some coffee? They go, and America's Mart, we were in building 2. Across the bridge was building 1, and also Hotel Indigo. So they ended up having to go downstairs and go all the way across the bridge to another building it's not a quick walk either. It's quite not a quick walk. You had to walk for at least a good 15-20 minutes just to get to building 1. So it's not an easy walk to make for a lot of people, especially when you had to like figure out what floor actually takes you to the other building, because not every floor goes to the other building. Some of the floors are like blocked off and stuff, so it's easy to get really lost. So they ended up walking across the bridge, and then they had to go and wait for a barista to make their coffee and stuff, and they had to pay for it. And then by the time that they were able to come back to building 2, and you had to go through security, they went all the way back upstairs and then finally got to the workshop at the very end of the workshop. So they completely missed the workshop because there's no like dedicated area for the coffee or water or something to keep people going. I mean, then it's hot too. It's about to be summer. If it's not summer already, it's right now it's June, so I guess it is summer. And it's extremely hot. It's like 90 something degrees. So a lot of people want water. They charge you $4 for a bottle of water. And I remember I wanted a bottle of water, and then they ran out. So even if you were extremely thirsty, they ran out of water. And then if you did have water, you had to pay $4 for it. In addition to like having to pay for parking and having to pay for the food, and if you wanted coffee, you got to pay for that. Now I will say that they like at certain times of the day they did have like a coffee stand, but sometimes they would run out of cups. They didn't have any lids. It was like certain small things were missing that were extremely important though. Like having water and coffee is a small thing, but it's very important, especially when you're having people there all day in the middle of summer. So that's just one of the things I think that could be improved on going forward. There were a lot of events, and overall, I hate to say it like this, but if we could have shaved off a good 10, 20 events that were going on just so that way people could have, free water and coffee, I think I would rather that. It could be some other reasons. Maybe it's just like there's just so many people to be able to offer free water and coffee. That's one thing. And then also it could be like a monetary thing, like maybe the vendors want to sell $4 coffee, $4 water. And I don't know how much coffee was. I didn't pay for coffee, but yeah. So maybe that's a reason. Maybe the vendors wanted to make some of that money back. But yeah, that is one of the things that they could improve on. Another thing is it is very easy to get lost. It was very easy to get lost at the event, and it's kind of hard to follow where to go for everything. That it could just be because that's America's Mart. The way America's Mart is set up, it could just be kind of complex or kind of difficult to figure out. Like, okay, this is where you go. Like, they have signs and everything for what floor you're on, but for each floor, the sign says like 2, like building 2. So you see a big 2 on the sign for where the floors are, but you had to like look at the little letters to see, okay, oh, this is floor 1 in building 2. And then this is not floor 2. So I got lost at one point doing that. The thing about the walk to Hotel Indigo, they had some talks over there. They had like a scholarship meetup and stuff, and people were meeting up in Hotel Indigo. But it's just such a long walk, and it's kind of hard to figure out, how do I even get to that building? You had to have, like, I just so happened to find out where it was because I was walking in a group, and then people didn't know this is Hotel Indigo. They was like, oh, somebody said there was a bar over there. And it isn't until you get over there to where, oh, this says building 1. Okay, so this is a different building. And then you ask around, oh, this is Hotel Indigo. So that's one of the issues that I noticed about getting lost. And also, instead of having like, okay, when you walk up to, like when you're on the floor where all the speeches and all the workshops, they have like a little kiosk in the middle of the floor. But instead of having it like that, like maybe you could have at each door like a kiosk that says, okay, this is the workshop that's going on right this moment. And then okay, this is what it is. This is room 1. Okay, room 1 says, hey, this is the AI talk. Okay, then room 2, this is the TypeScript or JavaScript talk or something like that. The other one, this is the entrepreneur talk. And then the other one is, this is how you avoid getting laid off talk, which was also a very good talk as well. I really enjoyed that speech that they did provide. So instead of having those types of things, like, yeah, have like a kiosk at each room, so that way you can know exactly where you're going to in big bold letters for everybody to be able to read. So, hey, oh, okay, I can go into there. This is the right spot. And then also it's kind of hard to like go over to the other building when they're having a speech, but then you have another speech in building. You have a speech in building 2 right now, but then the next talk is in building 1, and you need to go like 15-20 minutes to go across the bridge to get over there, and then you need to go another 15-20 minutes across back to the bridge of building 2, and you had to go through security, and then you had to come back upstairs to go to the talk that you really wanted to attend. So that's some of the things I did notice about that part, about getting lost and knowing where to go. The app was one more thing that I did notice. I think that's pretty much the last thing. I don't want to go too far into some of the cons or some of the things that they can work on, but the thing about the app is that it was kind of like they have 2 websites. So they have the RenderATL website and they have the Atlanta Tech Week website. There was so many different events. It's so overwhelming. And then let's say I want to go to an event today. Well, when you go to the app, the event page has all the events on there. So you're scrolling through the app and you're like, oh, okay, this is here are all the events, and you're scrolling through, and then you realize, oh wait, all these events that I'm scrolling through have already passed and expired. Why are they still showing up on the app? And then you had to like scroll all the way down to figure out where you are today. Today at this time, this is happening now, and then you got to go scroll down some more. Okay, this is happening in a few minutes or something like that. I think that the app needs a little bit of work to like, okay, after the event passed, go ahead and hide it or something like that, or have like a filter where it's okay, these are the ones that are happening right now, and these are the ones that's happening upcoming or something like that. I think that would have helped with the user experience. And also, there was no uniformity on how to book some of the sessions or some of the sessions, and then also some of the events that they were providing for both apps. So you go on Atlanta Tech Week or you go on Render, and then you look at, oh, they have all these events that's going on right now. You click on it, and then it takes you to Meetup. You click on this other one, it takes you to Luma. You click on another one, it takes you to Eventbrite. Some of them are paid, some of them are free, and I'm like, okay, so why isn't it kind of like a little bit more uniform? Why can't, like, when you're trying to book for an event, just make it so I can click on the app and then you can sign up easy, right? Because what happens is a lot of times people go to the websites, they go to the event, they click on it, and then they just apply to every single event. There's no way that they could possibly go to the event, but sometimes they require for you to pre-register. So you're like, okay, I had to pre-register, so I had to sign up for every single thing, even if I'm not going to go, because just in case my friend want to go here and then I got to leave to go over here, I got to go ahead and sign up and take up that spot. And that's what it kind of makes it. It makes there's so many things going on at the same time that there's so many people clicking on just multiple events, filling up the queue and not showing up to the event. So you're like, oh, okay, I can't even register even if I wanted to, but because I can't register, and then the person who took the spot didn't even show up because they had this other event that's going on at the very same time. But I'm here right now. They're gonna turn me away instead of just letting me in. You know, I'm here right now. They just let me in. So it makes it a little bit more like that could be worked on as far as the user experience. Like, hey, if they are trying to set up an event, let them go through the Atlanta Tech Week app or let them go through the Render app, and that's the only way that they can set up the event, and then have it to where it's easy for you to click on the way to be able to go to the event through the app. So they could kind of for next year they could do something like that. All right, so I spent a lot of time talking about some things that they can improve on. Hopefully they can take some of the constructive criticism. You know, overall, this is my third year going to RenderATL. I really enjoy it every single time. I honestly feel like this is the best year that has ever been. Overall, it's just amazing to see how much it's grown. They had some celebrities come in. I think that the talk with Shannon Sharp, at first I was kind of like, okay, well, they have Shannon Sharp here. Let me go ahead and see what he's talking about. And then when I got in there, it was so aspirational. I was like, oh my God, this is a really good panel discussion. There was a lot of gems that were dropped, and I'm going to be doing a write-up and on my newsletter as well about the Shannon Sharp panel that they had with Justin on there. So overall, that was RenderATL. That's my opinion on it. I think that with all of the success that Render has been able to achieve, I think that it is extremely useful for the Atlanta community to keep doing Render. I think that overall it's going to get better over time. They're going to work out some of the kinks. They're going to keep they're going to keep working on some of the great things about Render. And with that being said, guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And also hit that bell notification icon if you want to be notified whenever I make new videos on YouTube. With that, guys, please go ahead and check out the newsletter in the link in the description down below. And then also check out the Discord so that way you can speak with either me or anybody else within the BTB squad. I would really appreciate that. That being said, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Do not forget to build your billions.